We'll call the City of Hawarden regular City Council meeting to order. It is Wednesday, May 24th at 5:30. Everyone is present except for Mr. Mayor, and Corey and Patty will be joining us shortly. Agenda item 1A is approval of the May 10th, 2023 regular City Council meeting minutes.
So moved.
We have a motion by Rob. Do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded by John. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Approval of the May 24 claims for payments. We'll start with, to my right, with Monty.
Nope.
John.
None, thank you.
Rob.
No questions.
Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item 1C is open business from the community. Seeing none, we will move on to staff reports. Jacob? Okay, Travis?
Northern Natural Gas has a preliminary settlement for their rate case. The increase will be 32.5%. I know they came at us with 120%, and then they've been billing us at the 90% increase. The agreement awaits FERC approval, and they've agreed to start that new billing as of May 1st. We'll be looking at a refund for the difference plus interest for January through April. We can expect the refund late summer, early fall. The plan is to credit each gas customer with the allotted refund based on their consumption. So it'll be a dollar amount and then by your consumption. Part of that settlement agreement was to keep the small customer incentives in place and set a one-year moratorium on filing another rate case, which they had said they were going to do this July. So I think that was part of the incentive to settle. OC Sanitation will be running on Memorial Day. So all the homes in the construction area along Avenue L, 16th to 20th Street, will have theirs picked up on Tuesday instead. And then, because the crew will be back on Tuesday, and they'll move the garbage cans out to the corner for those individuals. Holstein has their...
Are or not running on Monday,
They are running on Monday,
but not for Avenue L.
just 16th to 20th Street. Yep. And then Holstein Excavator is broke down. They will be back on Tuesday to start the project again with a new excavator. That's all I have.
Okay, thanks. Wanda?
I don't have anything.
Jenny?
Nothing.
Carol?
Just have a few things coming up on the agenda items. I'll talk then.
Okay. Anything for council comments? Hearing none, we will move to other agenda items. Agenda item 3 is a public hearing disposing of real property and a public hearing for Avenue E, the former Sioux Motel property. At this time, I will open the public hearing. Has there been any written or oral comments to the city?
No, there are not.
Okay. Seeing nothing else, I will close the public hearing. And do we need a motion or anything on this?
There's the resolution, B.
I don't see
No,
a resolution.
I don't have
It's
a,
on, under... 2339. Yeah, it's under other agenda items on down there.
Then we'll deal with it then.
At least it's on
that's why I was confused.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes, there is a resolution. It is Resolution 2023 disposing of real property for Avenue E to Big Sioux Properties LLC. The resolution should be in your packet.
Okay. Do we have a motion or discussion on that?
Well, I found some errors in the bill of sale,
Wait a minute, let's see.
the agreement.
In the purchase agreement?
Yeah.
Yep. If you go to your packet, page, just on that back page, right?
Yep.
So it is page 44 of your packet. There's some other terms, additional provisions, paragraph 19. One, just paragraph 19B seems to be a typo, in that it starts with buyers agree they will build 2 new multifamily complexes of at least 8 individual apartments with 180 days, and thereafter complete construction of the motel within 240 days. So obviously, they're not building a motel. That should
They certainly can, but I,
be revised to multifamily complex, and then what we
well,
were,
just strike it,
or just strike it, yeah.
because the multifamily is explained in the first half of the paragraph.
So just
Strike
obviously
it.
it's not to be a motel. And then the next thing you were talking about, do you want to address that?
Well, yes, it says we have the, if they don't complete the project, we have the right to buy back the property.
Okay.
But if they dig holes and move dirt and do everything else and then fail, then I don't have the same property that I sold them.
Okay.
So I would like something in there to say that, we will buy it back at an appropriate price, or, we will enter into discussions about the property, or something that doesn't say we are automatically going to pay them the $18,000
Okay.
because we have taken out, or they have taken out, however much dirt they've taken out and hauled it away.
Okay.
I'm gonna put it back somewhere.
I think there's a couple different options. I think you can either indicate that in the event, construction, or in the event that the property's been altered in any way, it either needs to be restored to its original condition, or the purchase price is up for debate, it's up for negotiation.
Either one is fine with me, I just don't want to be stuck with a lot with 2 big holes in it.
Or purchase price less what it costs to restore to its original condition.
If they want to restore it, that's fine with me too. Fill the holes.
Okay. Jenny, you'll take care of that.
Yep.
Perfect.
So then are we moving forward with this at all with those amendments?
It's the purchase agreement, it's not the.
Okay.
Right? I don't think it's in the resolution.
Okay, 3B is Resolution 2023-39, disposing of real property for Avenue E, former Sioux Motel Big Sioux Properties, LLC. Do we have a motion for that? Moved by John. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Rob. Roll call vote, please.
Harvey.
No.
Feldhacker.
Aye.
Olson.
Aye.
Glucky.
Aye.
Anderson.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-1. Agenda item 4 is discussion on the sale of terms for 6.3 acres of riverfront property, parcel number that in McKee Addition out, Lot A. Wanda?
So in the memo that you got, there's more than just this property to discuss. We have not sold residential property in quite some time. And so our typical sale has been 49 cents a square foot. I'm not sure that we want to sell residential property for that. So looking for some direction from council. What we could do is get an independent third party to give us some market value assessment. I would prefer that over having us, if, as a staff, we can look at comparables and make a price, but I don't think we have that independence. So I would suggest that we have a realtor give us a third party, whatever that costs us against of the property, so we know what to sell it for. Because I don't think you want to sell residential property for 49 cents a square foot.
No.
The one lot just south of Caskey's, of course, that was the economic development selling that. I think it was around 8,500. I'm just kind of giving you some, I don't know either, because we haven't sold residential.
Yeah, that one,
I don't-
if you look at the other 3 lots that have sold, those were anywhere from 25 to 30,000,
That's what I wondered, yeah.
but that was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So I don't think that we have a comparable that it would
So
maybe,
put it on the market and see if you get comparables. I mean,
but don't you want a minimum price?
I don't have to sell it. If I don't get a minimum price, I don't have to sell it.
But wouldn't we want to have an idea of what it is worth, though? So-
Sure, but so do the buyers, right?
Well, I'm just
They
thinking.
must know what it's worth, or are willing to pay for it.
I think it makes it easier if we establish a value
I don't.
and start from there. At least it's a starting point.
I'm just thinking of receiving bids and something's worth 10,000 and we get these $2,000 bids and we don't realize.
But like I said, we own the property. We do not have to sell it.
No, I understand, yeah.
We don't meet, if we don't meet the price we think it's worth, then we say no.
Yeah, I'd be okay with,
Put it in the paper and say, we've got these lots for sale.
be okay with having a realtor look at it, give us a price, and then we can approve that price or not approve that price, or.
That's a minimum starting price.
Right. If we don't want to sell it, then we don't have to.
When I spoke just briefly to Wanda about it, I think there is no precedence here with residential, right? You don't, so whatever you do, you're kind of setting it in the future.
Yeah.
I guess I wouldn't mind a realtor giving us an idea what the lots are,
Is it all one lot, or is it?
This
Well-
piece is, yes.
or so much, yeah. Now,
But portions of this, a good portion of this is in the floodplain.
Floodplain.
But there is a section up here that is not. So again, it's a very unique piece of property. Taking this property out of our discussion, as far as residential real estate, do you want us to seek a third party to get a starting price?
I think it'd be good to have some sort of price established in some way, and then, go from there.
Marlon Jant can tell you that. It'll cost you a thing.
Well, one or two, or whatever we want to look at.
yeah, the
so.
local realtors could
I just don't like
easily-
picking the number out of my hat and saying, okay,
I-
that's worth that.
Let the buyers pick the number. That's
Well, that-
my point.
That's true, they can make an offer,
Yeah.
and we can always reject it, but, where's that offer start and stop, so.
With me.
With you?
Well, I meant with the seller.
Well, whatever, whatever the council decides, I guess.
Yeah.
So,
If we don't think the price is worth, no,
right, I mean, we don't have
we
to.
say no.
We don't have to sub $2,000 offer, but, what's reasonable? I mean, the market's changed a lot, from my experience.
She just talked about we're setting a precedent.
Right.
Is that how you want to set the precedent? Let
Yep.
some third party tell you what it's worth?
Yes, I do, because I think it makes it a lot
That's
easier.
you. I don't.
I know.
Okay.
I'm fine with having somebody look at it and give us
Yeah.
their opinion, but it doesn't
Yeah.
mean I have to take it.
Right.
That's what I was thinking, too.
It's a starting point for us.
I mean, just something to think about and start with, and, I mean, because, housing and land, we all know it's got changed a lot. I wouldn't have an idea. I used to kind of know what a lot would cost, but
One thing I can say about this discussion, I do agree with Mr. Harvey 100%. One of the things that I run into that isn't being discussed here is I run into the multiple people who are after these properties. So when you see an interest in properties such as this one or a couple of other ones that I have that is available for me to move, to generate revenue for the city, I am able to create a situation where they will bid against each other. So, which drives up the price. So I think having this basic starting point of, and even if I can say to them, well, the Sandersons paid 26,000, the whoever paid 32, for me to be able to at least say to these people, well, don't come to us with less than $40,000 because we're not selling for less and land is moving rather quickly here. So I think letting them create their own price, but us having an idea to at least say to them, this is where we're going to start. The council isn't even going to entertain a $2,000 offer. So,
Well, you can do that at the assessor's website.
Correct.
I mean, every plot that's sold is listed on the assessor's website, and it's supposed to be an honest value.
It's not.
Well, I didn't say that, though, did I?
Yeah.
Sioux County has never been that way. There's other counties that are closer to the market value. This one, Sioux County has listed at $21,700.
which given it being in the floodplain and the condition of parts of the lot, I could see why they don't appraise it to the same value or assess it to the same value that they do Nancy's. I mean, I can understand that. But I think with things increasing in interest in our area, we're going to be able to ask more money.
I mean, the adjoining property owners were interested in that years and years ago, but at that time, I think somebody wanted it for a rec area, and it never panned out, and they never did it. But I know the property owners were interested in the part that adjoins our land.
And at that point, we didn't have Big Sioux
Yeah.
rec area, so I don't think the city has interest in making a rec thing anymore.
So I want to go back to where we were. I want to make, because it's two separate issues.
Make a motion.
I see no problem in asking local realtors what value they think is on that land.
Okay,
Or a third party, yeah.
Or, yeah.
third party, okay.
Whatever.
That's, okay, that was the first,
That doesn't mean we're going with it, but we have an
Right.
idea.
but I think we at least have an idea. So the other thing with this lot that we are now looking at, it's been an interesting couple weeks with this property. We actually cannot build anything on this until July. Jenny did some research today. When the city bought this property from Dwayne McKee, there is a, what'd you call it, a covenant?
Yeah, I'll pull up the deed here so I can say it specifically. There's a restriction on the deed that limited building of
Campground.
campgrounds, and then one thing it said was restroom facilities, or a restroom, basically, so I'm like, well, I mean,
That eliminates houses.
right? Once you're gonna build a house without a restroom, I don't think you could build a house on that structure, and that was for 20 years. I did tell Wanda that you said you didn't have a lot of information as to other agreements that may be out there. I could not pull them up, but that doesn't mean they're not out there, so it would probably be good to have an abstract put together just to see if there are restrictions, if someone's interested, to see if there are restrictions out there.
Right, because as you said, Patty, that the adjoining property owners have an interest. I looked for any kind of documentation that there was an agreement or even discussed. I'm not finding anything, and I can't find an abstract.
You mean like an agreement with adjoining property owners?
Yes.
I would highly doubt there is one.
Yep, and that's what I'm thinking, but without an abstract, we don't know the history of the property. But if the council does not want to even entertain the idea of selling this property, there's no point in going through the abstract process.
The county's not crazy about spending $500 for the abstract.
What's that?
I said, bringing that abstract up to date will not be cheap.
We'll have to create one, so it's
Yeah.
probably a couple $1,000s.
Yeah.
But you add that into the cost of the sale of the property. Because at this point, we don't know what's on that, because this happened 20 years ago.
If we want to sell it, they'll have to have a clear abstract
They
in
will.
the title.
Well, we've sold other properties without an abstract.
Yeah,
And the
it's all
property
as is.
owners, but I don't think with the interest from the adjoining property owners, I don't know that we want to go and not do that. My suggestion, but it's up to the council to decide what they want to do.
So the restriction says no cabins, overnight camping sites, or restroom facilities shall be constructed on the property, nor shall any trail be connected to 25th Street or Avenue B right-of-ways for a period of 20 years.
Yeah, so here's Avenue B, and there's
When's the 20
25th.
years up?
So
July.
July.
Well, then, well, let's just wait until July. I'm not crazy about spending $2,000 for an abstract. At all.
And I get that.
Okay.
I understand that. We can sell it as is,
We can sell it in July.
but there could be potentially, unless the adjoining landowners have some kind of document, we don't know that that's not on that abstract.
Well, we've got Jenny sitting here.
I have no problem selling it. I have no problem asking a third party of a value. And if we did do the abstract, we add it into the price of the land. I mean, I think it'd be okay to it's in an odd place. We're not doing a recreation project out there like they talked about years ago. And I believe that the owner at the time didn't want that to go on, and that's why he put those stipulations in there. That's my opinion.
I agree.
I'd agree.
Jenny, do we need to have something on the agenda for a motion?
No,
A
I just think
resolution?
I mean, it can't be sold right now.
No.
I mean, if the city wants to sell it, I think it just needs to be made clear to the buyer that they need to do their due diligence for restrictive covenants or whatnot that's out there. I mean, that's one way you could do it. Because have you had specific people wanting to I mean, so then when it would be open for bids or whatever it is, I would just make that clear that as is.
Okay, and not worry about the adjoining property owners?
Well, if it's put for public hearing and they have a document, my guess is they'll come forward with it.
Okay. Okay, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Good with that.
so are we good on number 4?
Carol, are you good on number 4? Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay. Agenda item 5A is a public hearing for the fiscal year 23 budget amendment for May 24th. At this time, I will open the public hearing. Jacob?
Nothing new since last meeting.
Okay. Anything written?
No.
All right.
Who could make sense out of this mess?
Seeing none, we will close the public hearing and move to Resolution 2023-40, approval of the fiscal year 23 budget amendment.
I and the governor make the motion.
Motion by Harvey. Do we have a second?
Second,
Seconded by Patty. Roll call vote, please.
Lieutenant Governor.
Glucky,
Aye.
Feldhacker,
Aye.
Harvey,
Yes.
Olson,
Aye.
Anderson.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Agenda item 6. 6 is ordinance 747, second reading ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances by the City of Hawarden by amending provisions pertaining to internet utility rates and fees. Wanda?
This is the second reading of the ordinance for the internet rates and plans, presented as you had it last time. We haven't made any changes to it. We just ask that you pass this one.
So moved.
We have a motion by Monty. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by John. Roll call vote, please.
Anderson,
Aye.
Feldhacker,
Aye.
Harvey,
Yep.
Glucky,
Aye.
Olson.
Aye. Motion. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I noticed lately that all of the local, smaller cable companies are closing their doors.
Such as,
Well, North Carolina, Virginia, whatever. They're just saying to their customers, go to YouTube. Stream it all. We're done fighting with this. We're done fighting with the rip-offs in Sioux City or wherever. Get it from YouTube.
I think
That's going to happen to us whether we do it now or whether we do it in 5 years.
I think that's consumer driven right
Yeah.
now. I mean,
Right.
consumers are just moving to streaming instead of cable dish.
But I'm afraid that we're not going to be able, no matter what we do, to keep cable afloat.
we won't.
No. So we need to keep that in our back pocket to say,
What's your point? What's your break even?
no, my point was I just happened to see it in the past
No, I
week.
no, I mean, like, can we start this tomorrow, or,
I think we need to talk about it, yes.
okay. Can you give me those, just send me that information so I can take a look at it? I appreciate it. And then I can come back to council with some
Well,
information.
some of them are rolling over and saying, we will buy you all YouTube TV, and it will cost you $90 a month. And there's a couple of bucks in there that they got for making the deal. The other ones are saying, hey, we're done with this nonsense. Go to YouTube TV. Currently, it is, I think, $72 a month.
Okay,
And it does include the rip-off from Sioux City. So,
okay.
it gets us out of this game.
Especially out of that portion of the regulatory that we
Yeah.
don't have to worry about anymore.
Yeah, and all of those companies are holding on to their internet. You know, nobody's letting go of streaming.
Right, absolutely.
No, they aren't
Right.
that much.
So I'm just saying that if we're getting into a mess with Sioux City and with the rest of them, that let them move somewhere else. Hell, let them go to Premier if that's what they want to do. You know, we're not going to lose $10 a head and make it up on volume.
No, because you could tell from the numbers that every month they're going down.
Right. So I realize it wasn't on the agenda. I just,
No, I appreciate that, though. If you could send me that information, then I can put it
Okay.
together for council. Thank you.
Agenda item 7 is ordinance 748, second reading of ordinance establishing Chapter 124, mobile food truck vendor and operations. Wanda?
Second reading of this, the first reading that this is a brand-new chapter for us for mobile food truck vendors, establishing their being able to be on the public right-of-way and on private property, charging a daily fee of $25, a 3-day fee of $50, or an annual fee of $100.
Okay. Do we have a motion for that?
I make a motion.
Motion by Patty. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by John. Roll call vote, please.
Feldhacker.
Aye.
Olson.
Aye.
Anderson.
Aye.
Harvey. Clucky.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Agenda item 8 is a public hearing on proposed amendment to the consolidated Hawarden urban renewal area. Wanda? Or Carol? Do you have anything on this? I will open the public hearing, sorry.
I have that deer in the headlight look?
Yeah.
We have not had any comments
Okay.
on this.
Seeing none, we will close the public hearing and move on to agenda item 9, resolution 2023-41 to declare necessity and establish an urban renewal area pursuant to the section 403.4 of the Code of Iowa and approve urban renewal plan amendment.
So moved.
We have a motion by Rob. Do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded by John. Roll call vote, please.
Feldhacker.
Aye.
Harvey.
could I hear that again?
No.
Yes.
Olson.
Aye.
Clucky.
Aye.
Anderson.
Aye.
Agenda item 10 is ordinance 749, an ordinance providing for the division of taxes levied on taxable property in the May 2023 addition to the consolidated Hawarden urban renewal area. Do you have any?
This ordinance is the first reading. This allows us to expand, actually to renew the urban renewal area that is south of the Avenue F and in our industrial park.
Any questions or comments on that? Do we have a motion for that?
I make a motion.
Moved by Patty. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by John. Roll call vote, please.
Clucky.
Aye.
Olson.
Aye.
Harvey. Anderson.
Aye.
Feldhacker.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Agenda item 11 is Resolution 2023-42, approving of an application to the USDA Rural Development Grant for a 2023 International Truck and Snowplow.
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Rob. Roll call vote, please.
Feldhacker.
Aye.
Olson.
Aye.
Anderson.
Aye.
Harvey.
Yep.
Clucky.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to jump all over the discussion, but
Agenda 12 is discussion and approval of a special events application for the Hawarden Area Arts Council for Good Times and Games at the Gazebo.
The Arts Council is proposing to have family events on the first Sunday of the summer. Can't remember what the dates are. They have a live band and then family games in the area right around the gazebo.
There's 4 dates, June 4th, July 2nd, and August 6th.
Okay.
so my question is, are they insured?
They are working on the application. We haven't seen the policy yet. They can't have this unless we have the insurance, and they're fully aware of that. Yeah, no, they're working on the policy. I already talked to the agent.
So pending approval of the insurance, so moved.
Okay. We have motion from Monty. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second from Patty. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Agenda item 13A is request from Brian Engelman doing business as the Golf Course Clubhouse for renewal of Class C retail alcohol license.
So move.
We have a motion by Rob. Do we have a
Second.
second by John. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item 14 is adjournment.
Wait. I have one more thing. Going back to the sale of the riverfront properties, has anyone talked to those neighbors?
We've had some conversations.
Because I just think you should ask, do you know of any agreement? But I also think if they know it's for sale and they don't want it sold, great, maybe they'll pay more.
I have talked to one of them that wants to buy it, purchase it. I just remember back years ago, they were all interested. They're just waiting to see what the city's gonna do.
I just think it'd be good to put them on notice. You know,
Yes,
if
I
there is an
agree.
issue out there, great, let's know of it before.
Yes, I will reach out to them.
They would tell you, but I don't, yeah.
Okay. Agenda item 14 is adjournment.
So move.
Motion by Rob. Do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded by John. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
He made me come.
Did we?
I was wanting to stay home.
Oh, you would have